All right, I'm going to do a quick podcast for you while my ribs are in the oven. I don't know how long I can wait it out. Been fasting all day. Gonna lose a little belly fat for the audience, the camera. But we can review a little bit. In the first podcast, I talked about Saudi Arabia. I talked about bombings with Iran, Israel, and 2 days later, the war in Iran started. So that was, in my opinion, prophecy. So when I say the greatest podcaster, unless you have another podcaster that prophesies the future, I can retain the title. I have a lot of things I could teach about, uh, but the problem is that I don't like teaching for free, and I only have approximately 200 subscribers, and YouTube won't pay anything until you have 1,000 subscribers. So I have over 75,000 views. There's people who I'm sure have fixed their automobiles, fixed their diesel trucks, and learned how to do brake jobs and computer program carburetors and all of this stuff that they got taught for free, while YouTube makes tons of money, which I don't even know how they get away with it. But basically, they're making money off of me, my videos, but have not paid me a cent for 75,000 views of teaching videos. So, you look at like, okay, if you want to talk to a lawyer, he charges you, personally $100 an hour, commercially $500 an hour. If you want to talk to a doctor, he charges you. When somebody studies things all their life and you want to obtain information from that person, they charge you. So I'm not going to sit here and teach you all the things I know for free. Okay? I'll give you little bits and pieces, samples. Like when you go to the mall and the Chinese lady has a little toothpick of a little piece of bourbon chicken to get you tantalized. But I'm not going to sit here and spill my guts for free for the decades of studying that I did. You want to give initial wise JR money, hundreds of millions of dollars, AJ millions of dollars, TC, CO, initials. I don't want to sit there and give out names and have them sue me someday, but they have all millions and millions of subscribers and millions of views and millions. They're making money. You got Concrete. You got all these podcasts. They don't tell you anything to help your life. I mean, yeah, it's interesting. It's intriguing. I watch them. Oh, let's learn about the aliens. Let's learn about the pyramids. Let's learn about the CIA and all of this stuff. What does really help you? It's just trivial nonsense. But see, when I was younger, I was so far ahead of my time. You have no I'm still way ahead of my time. You have no concept of that, like what I know in my mind isn't even like you wouldn't get a college degree for it because there is no college degree for it. Like, because it hasn't been invented yet. The things that I do and the things that I learn and the things that I, uh, you know, practice in my own life are ahead of the time. I just give you some examples. Like you try to think, oh, he's just making, it's all baloney. He's making stuff up. So I was like, okay. When I was 15, I started studying how to slow down the aging process. So I did that for like most of my life. That's the reason I went to chemistry degree. Like I went to college, and you go to the counselor to pick out your classes, and she's like, "Okay, what are you trying to do? What do you want a degree in?" And I said, "Well, I want to study how to slow down the aging process." He said, we don't have a degree for that." I said, "Okay." She said, "The best you can do is you could go chemistry or you could go biology. And when you graduate, maybe you can use that for research into slowing down the aging process." Now, this was around the time that they had invented the computer. Uh, so, no, it was actually way before they invented the computer. I'm thinking now, I'm thinking when I first went to a community college was right when I got out of high school. So we're talking the 80s. And so I I studied how to slow down the aging process before I went to college. Like I went to college because college doesn't have a program, or didn't. I don't know about now. Didn't have a program to slow down. I had to do all that on my own, reading books all over town. They didn't have the computer. There was no internet. There was nothing. No personal computer. No cell phones. I had to ride around on buses to different colleges and read biology books in their libraries before I went to college. I don't know if that makes sense. I read all the books on anti-aging in the libraries, and I went to the college library and started studying like advanced biological pamphlets about slowing down aging. Of like a normal person couldn't even read it because it's so biologically technical about you know mitochondria and cell nucleuses and all this stuff, right? But that's what I was studying because to me that was my career, was slowing down the aging process. And the fact that the college doesn't have a degree for that, that's their backwards thinking. That's their so here we are in 2026, right? So when I was doing that and broke and riding no car, riding buses, no job, nobody'd hire me, nothing, just like a homeless person living in a car, just studying how to slow down the aging process, a full-time basis for free. Uh, while I was doing that, there were other people who were studying computers. So you had like Bill Gates, you know, Apple, Steve Jobs, who's passed on from cancer. Okay. You have these people making hundreds of billions of dollars studying computers, selling Windows and Dell, Intel, the dot com bubble, all the money into the dot com bubble, the billions and billions and billions of dollars lost. And, it was a bubble, like AI is a bubble right now. They just pump money into AI. There's more and more. I want, it's crazy. It's, they don't, I don't even know where to begin. Like, so now that they have, like, Google, right, has all this money, like, this is, okay, so when so you got the 80s, 90, 1,000, or 1980, 1990, 2000, 2010, 2020. So 46 years later, right? Google wants to slow down the aging process. Okay, Google has finally, the people who made all these hundreds of billions of dollars building computers that everyone followed, like you're following the computer messiahs, right? Now have decided that they've come up with a genius idea of trying to figure out how to slow down the aging process. See, so you see how when I said that I'm ahead of my time. So I had studied it obsessively till I was 40. So you're talking when I got out of high school. Well, I actually started when I was 15 because there was a health food store near my house. And I started reading all their books. And so you're talking about, I finally kind of like tapered off and said, I'm not really learning anything new. There's no more new information out there. I've looked at every book imaginable about anti-aging and every biological pamphlet I could find about that. I stopped when I was like 40. Okay. So, um, I don't even know where I was going with that thought process. Oh, so I stopped when I was 40 and got into other things because there was nothing else to learn at that time. There was no new technology. So that's how far advanced from all these computer geeks that people gave all their money to. We're going to give you all our money to build more and more computers, all to come full circle to say, oh, why don't we use these computers to slow down the aging process? Yeah, you're 46 years behind Ronnie Trost. Okay. The CEO of Google, with all his money, and Apple and all these other clowns, Mark Zuckerberg and all these other clowns, are 46 years behind broke ass Ronnie Trost that lived in his car. You see. And so you wonder why I'm a prophet. You wonder why 2 days before the Iran war that I talked about, you can go look it up. You can go watch it again. You can look at the date that I loaded it onto YouTube 2 days before the war started. It's time stamped. Proof. Like, why would I talk about Saudi Arabia and then 2 days later, Saudi Arabia is the headline news? The Iran bombed Saudi Arabia, Iran bombed Dubai, that's prophecy. Okay. So I'm ahead of my time scientifically with anti-aging. And I was ahead of my time when I got so many things going through my mind. I'm trying to pick out which one do I want to talk about. There's like five things present themselves, and then like it looks like I'm stuttering, like I don't know, but I'm like, whoa, wait, this is interesting to talk about. This, but I could also talk about this. I'm trying to decide which one. Okay, I'll just start with it. When I was in college in the, I guess it was the '90s, I did a report on electric cars, and I could probably dig it up somewhere, but the report said that electric cars still were not really that efficient because you have to charge them up with the electricity from the grid, which means that the power lines have to carry the electricity. And so you're using either nuclear power or coal power plants. And so it's not a very efficient method to charge electric cars. I made a whole college report that's not really. This is what electric cars were just like first in the minds of people. Like, why don't we think about getting some electric cars? I mean, way before. I'm not even sure Elon Musk was born at this time yet. He might have been like, I don't know, running around the house at 5 years old. But when I was doing a report on electric cars, right? And so here we are 20, 30 years later. 20, 30 years later, I got to sit here and watch on the news like people say, oh, well, you still got to charge it up at the electric station somehow. And blah, 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 blah. Like this is news. This is not news to me. Okay. I knew it was all a fad. Like, you know, these electric pickup trucks and all this that went way up in price and it dropped in price. I'm like, this is a fad. Like I can't tell you like how it all came true. My report all came true when I started driving this little electric Bolt uh for Uber. God, I got some stories. I swear, man. Sitting at charging stations for 45 minutes and Tesla. I mean, God, trying to charge at a Tesla station, but it's Tesla only. So I'm running low on electricity. I got to find another place to charge it up before I run out. I mean, it was just crazy. It was just crazy having an electric car. I plugged it up to my house, and you can't use 110. It take like a week to charge it, so you had to get 220. So I built a 220 system to charge the car, and they charge you three times as much at a charging station as they do as you can at your house. It's like 30 cents a kilowatt versus 10 cents a kilowatt at your house. But when you have to reach, you might be on the other side of Florida, the other side of the state, dropping somebody off when you need to charge up. You're not near your house, so you got to pay the 30. I mean, it's just like, finally, man, when I turned that car in, I was just like, it's kind of cool to drive. I will say that it was fast. It was like a little fast compact car. I was like trying to race Corvettes and stuff. But the charging, the time, finding charging stations and all this stuff, it was just like unreal. So anyway, I was way ahead of my time when I wrote that report in college that said it's not really that economical because you still got to charge it with electricity from somewhere. Now, if you had solar panels in Florida, you might get free electricity, and say, But if a battery goes out, you have to buy a new battery. That could be like 20 grand or $30,000 or something like that. I mean, so you got all these different weird problems. And then anyway, I was ahead of my time with the electric car. I was thinking about electric cars before uh what's his name? Tesla guy, Elon Musk was even born. I was already thinking about electric cars. Okay. Way ahead of my so, you know, there's so many things I could teach because I'm always like studying and learn. The reason I drove a taxi for 25 years so I could read books. I'd read books at the airport for 2 hours between each fare. I would read all kinds of books, man. I studied so many different things. It's unreal. Like my whole room. If I moved the camera over here, it'd look like you went to the public library. There's like 1,000 books just in my bedroom, different shelves and stacked in shelves and like books. I still read books. People don't understand. I go to sit on the bus, I go to work, and everybody's on their cell phone. I got a book in my hand. You can't learn nothing from a cell phone, man. You gotta have a book. A book teaches you, like, I don't know. People don't understand. I hardly ever look at my cell phone. I look at books, how to sail boats, how to fly airplanes, how to, scuba dive, how to do all this stuff. Hey, look at it. People look at this silly little thing, a guy laughing, somebody doing something funny all day. All day they look at little little clips of videos all day. Blue, 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 blue. What did you learn? You spent 8 hours looking at your cell phone. What did you learn? Well, it was fun. I laughed. That's why you're broke and stupid. You see, because you think that cell phone has what you need. Why don't you put a book in your hand and learn something? Then you can make more money. See, they don't. I mean, I was ahead of my time. Like I'm still ahead of my time. So I'm like, I don't even. I think my baby back ribs are almost done. I got so many things I could teach, but you want to give JR and AJ and all these guys all the uh you know subscriptions. I can't teach, man. I'm not teaching for free. Okay? Teachers supposed to get paid. Pastors of churches get paid. Teachers at school get paid, you know. JR gets $250 million. AJ gets, where's my money? Right? YouTube got 75. Where my money? Not a penny for old Prophet Ronnie Trost. So anyway, I'm gonna end it right there and go eat my baby back ribs. You guys have a good one, man. I'll see you on the next podcast.